What's up, YouTube world? It's your boy Halucha Lucha, aka Matthew J. Brownlee, and I'm here with another uh, NXT top 10, still in the NXT top 10. I got my handy dandy notebook. This one, uh, what I did for my AEW, or I tried to do for my AEW, what I did for my Raw, I tried to do for my AEW was I tried to pick my five top favorite things about NXT, and then my top five least favorite things about NXT. And I couldn't do it, honestly. I ain't gonna hold you. I tried, and it was just like NXT and AEW to a point, really like so good that try to pull something out of your butt, and I kept trying to like cross stuff out and be like, but this wasn't horrible. It wasn't. So what I'm gonna do actually is just do my top 10. I'm gonna go for my, you know, what from the least to best part of NXT, in my opinion. Which, to me, there wasn't anything that was like horribly wrong with NXT. But uh, I guess I'll just get into it. I'll just talk about it. As you saw, I have my handy dandy notebook, and yeah, we're gonna get into this. I normally sit on the floor. I'm on my bed now because it's cold and I got my heater on. But when I'm on the floor, like you can hear the noise, and just so this I can stay warm and you don't have to hear the noise. So, and I also bought a microphone, so I ordered a microphone, so it'll be here by like the end of the year or something like that. Kind of excited for it. Yes. So, anyways, we're gonna get into this. So, my number 10, and this was the only thing about the show I didn't like, and it has nothing to do with like the wrestling or anything like that. My number 10 is just NXT's placement of where they put their matches. To me, the placement wasn't there because, for example, the main event was Rhea Ripley versus Toni Storm, and it was the same thing as last week, like where they had Ember Moon versus Toni Storm. Well, that main evented, and it was pretty much like the same outcome, and for both results. I'll talk about that later. But like I think if they would have put it in a different spot and let the main event be something else, like what I'm going to talk about later as well, I think it probably would have flowed better or something like that. Maybe they had to rearrange a lot of things because I can understand, like if they placed one, like if they would have put this here in the beginning and then would have put another match in like the middle, like they had like the three top, I guess, main matches. They had the beginning match with Johnny Gargano with the Way and Leon Ruff and Kushida. They had that start the match. They had Pete Dunne and uh, Kyle O'Reilly like in the middle, and then they had this main event. But I think, well, actually, they also had Tommaso Ciampa versus Rust, Tyler Rust. They also had that match, so they could have placed it. They could have rearranged it different. But it is what it is. But yeah, just the placement for that, especially from the repetition what happened last week, could have did placed a little better. But show was still pretty good. So number 9, um, just the announcement that they did, I thought it was pretty dope. Dexter Lumis is going to be hosting New Year's Evil in like 3 weeks. He was there, shown like doing some drawings and stuff like that. I like Dexter Lumis, and it was funny because Wade Barrett made a point. Was like, he's like, Dexter Lumis, how is he going to host a show? He doesn't even talk, which is I think is going to be the interesting part. Having somebody who doesn't talk host a show, I think that's going to be pretty dope. He was seen a couple of times during the show, like he was just perched up or whatever like that, and he just started doodling or whatever like that, and they showed him like in the middle, and it's had New Year's Evil on it, and then toward the end, it showed that he actually is hosting New Year's Evil. I think that was dope. I actually like the drawing. The drawing's pretty cool too. So it's going to be interesting to see how he hosts the show compared to how Shanti Blackheart hosted Halloween Havoc. No, Spin the Wheel, Make a Deal, which was I think Halloween Havoc. Yeah. So this is going to be interesting, and yeah, I can't. I honestly can't wait to see it. Uh, Number 8, Killer Cross versus Desmond Troy. I was thinking whether I wanted to put this as number 7 or the number 7 match that I have in number 7, which I'll talk about in a second. But the reason why this was number 8, while this match wasn't, I mean, it wasn't horrible. This was just a match for Cross, like another, like, I'm back to destroy things. The problem with the match was basically he did this when he first came to NXT. Like he came to NXT and Killer Cross, he had his squash matches, he beat everybody up, and then he had his occasional good match. He had the one with Tommaso Ciampa, and then the one with Keith Lee. I don't know if he had any other ones, but like that's how he came and he just like destroyed everybody, and then he became NXT champion. He left. Now he's coming back. He's gonna have that match with Damian Priest. But why are you gonna go back to having squash matches? We've seen you doing squash matches. Come back, have a match with like it doesn't have to be a total squash, but have like a decent match with somebody else. Like I can't think of any. I would have said Brunson Reed, but they also announced Brunson Reed is coming back. Uh like somebody who's a solid name, like Kona Reeves. Bring Kona Reeves back, like a Kona Reeves. Uh, yeah, Kona Reeves is the only name I could think of. But somebody like in his in the Kona Reeves area who's like there and can give him like a decent enough match for him to like it could be a squash, but it not be a total squash. Like you just do all the offense because he's been there, done that. But still, good for Killer Cross to come back. It's good to see him again, and his match with Damian Priest should be really really good. I can't wait for it. Next up, number 7, Shotzi Blackheart versus Indy Hartwell. Yeah, I thought about making this number 8 because like this was a nothing match. It was solid, and then whatchamacallit happened. It got a DQ finish happen. This is where like one of the placements would have been weird. Like if you would have put this in the middle with like the women's match, because this came right after Tommaso Ciampa and Pete Dunne. So I maybe it would have been weird if you placed it because you had two women's matches back to back, and maybe they didn't want to do that. Maybe they wanted to spread out the women's matches or something like that. But then if you would have placed this match at the beginning, you would have had Kushida and Kushida, Kushida and Leon Ruff versus The Way. You would have that in the middle, and then this probably would have followed it or something like that. I don't know. It could have been. I don't know, but yeah, that's another thing where the placement was a little weird, or they could have just did this a little later. I don't know, but yeah, the match was fine. They did a weird spot where Indy or not Indy, Shanti did like her little cannonball thing, and it looks like she hit Indy Hartwell, but I think Indy might have moved out the way because she kind of no sold it and she started beating up Shanti. I don't know, it's a little weird spot, but yeah, it was fine. The only reason why I made this higher is because there was like a sort of a point to it, like where they all attacked Shanti at the end. She did the wicked stepsister, and they all, so the feud is continuing. That's pretty much the only reason why this just edged out the carrying cross, because the carrying cross match is just like again with with the um the the squash matches. So that's why that was like that. Number 6, interviews and segments. There's a lot of them, and they were good. I enjoyed some of these. I mentioned the one with Loomis. His was really good. They had the Tony Storm package talking about Rhea Ripley and how Rhea Ripley how she beat Rhea Ripley for the NXT Women's Championship, how she ran him out at NXT UK. She talked about pretty much how she uses like intimidation, but she knows that I don't intimidate her. She said, "Yeah, last outing she got the win, but hey, this time it's going to be different." That was the Toni Storm who respected her, but this I don't respect her. So they had that. That was good stuff. Uh, Kyle O'Reilly, Pete Dunne, and Adam Cole was sparring. They were pretty much doing what they normally do when Kyle O'Reilly and whatchamacallit normally spar. And but they had Roderick Strong spar with Kyle O'Reilly. And Roderick Strong looked like he was having a ball doing it. That was good. Shanti had her a little interview, not being over with. What's her face? Candice LeRae, and she's gonna take it out on Indy Hartwell, which she obviously didn't. Grizzled Young Veterans, they had their thing where they're part of the NXT thing and NXT tag team scene, and they pretty much said that they're going to be next tag team champions. Uh, Cross had two promos before his match. Brunson Reed, as I said, had a video package for him being there next week. Swerve, he wanted a rematch against Jake Atlas because he's been there longer. He said he respects Jake, but he's like, yo, my time to shine. Which he's turning heel. My man had a whole grill. He's looking more and more like a Hurt Business employee, which would be great if he joined the Hurt Business. He's probably not, but that's good stuff. And Finn Balor has a talk about something that I'm not going to mention yet because we still got to talk about that. And yeah, so that was all that. And there was one more segment. Oh, but I'm not going to talk about that late right now either. I'm going to talk about number 5, which was Rhea Ripley versus Toni Storm. This match was good, but as I said, I don't think this match should have been invented because this was literally exactly like last week when they had Ember Moon versus Toni Storm and main evented. And I think last week's match was better than this match. They both had better matches with other people, and they both had matches together in the past. Like the all three of their matches before were good. The when Rhea won the title from the first title, when Toni Storm got the title back, and at Worlds Collide, all three of those matches were better than this one. Not to say that this match wasn't good. This match was still good, but with the interference from Gonzalez as she interfered last week to get Toni Storm to win as she won last week. And then the stare down between Rhea Ripley and Gonzalez is just a lot of copy paste from last week, and I just that's just me. But then the match was still fine. And that's just also just how strong the show was. That like any other time, this would have main evented and it would have been perfectly fine. But I think there deserved to be another main event, and maybe if they would have just put this like at the beginning or in the middle, and made it flow differently, I think it would have been much better. But still a good match, not bad. Tony wins after Gonzalez picks Rhea Ripley up and she slams her on the post. Uh, Tony knees her in the face and then hits Storm Drill for the win. Uh, so yeah, number 4, the final part of the interview package. It was like a video package um, that I mentioned that I segment that I mentioned that I was going to say. Xia Li murdering Boa. These video packages are flames. I love them. They're really unique and they're different from really anything that's going on. Xia Li said for a long time that she wanted to be in the spotlight, that she deserved, like she wanted some stuff. So ever since that lost, and they've been doing this thing with this mystery higher power women female, and the guy keeps telling him again, beat him up again, and she's like, no, I don't want to do it. And then Bo is all bleeding. He's like, please stop. He's like, again, and she's like, pop, pop, and like she popped him one because she socked him one good time. That was awesome. I loved it. I loved every part of it. And yeah, hopefully this leads to some Xia Li wins because Xia Li's fantastic and she deserves wins. I hope she comes out like that too. Like she doesn't have the whole thing. She just comes out with like wife beater shorts and like some judo tape hand, and she starts beating people up like that. I hope that'd be a good look for her. And still mystery who this lady is, but whoever it is, maybe they'll be a tag team. I don't know, but good stuff for them, and hopefully good things for Boa too. Number three, as I mentioned earlier, Leon Ruff and Kushida versus The Way, Austin Theory and Johnny Gargano. This was a good match. I like this match. Third best match on the show. Um, this was pretty much like we're going to have Kushida be strong, show off Leon Ruff, but The Way is going to get the win because they need the win. Um, this this is what the interesting part about this stuff is. Leon or Johnny Gargano is probably going to get his rematch with, or Leon Ruff is probably going to get his rematch with Johnny Gargano. So the fluke in the streak ends and continues. Johnny Gargano is going to have his title defense that he needs, and I think it's going to be the end of that. But I think Leon Ruff will be perfectly transitioned into the cruiserweight division uh, to do some things with Legado de Fantasma because I think Leon Ruff is still good enough that where if he does that underdog babyface thing in the cruiserweight division, he'd be a great cruiserweight champion. I think he deserves to be a champion. The thing with Gargano, he's probably going to lose that title to Kushida because Kushida's the best and he deserves that championship. I wouldn't mind seeing Gargano and Austin Theory as a tag team, and they run the tag team division. This is something from Gargano where, like another person that I'll mention later, um, it seems like being an NXT lifer, as long as you have something for you, I think it works wonders for at least Johnny Gargano. Him and Candice LeRae, they're finding new ways to stay fresh in NXT. Um, they did the whole "I'm a babyface, rah rah, I'm great" thing. He had won his titles as babyfaces, and then he turned heel a little bit, and then it got weird, and then he turned babyface again, and now he's like full on heel, and now he's this delusional chicken ass baby heel who hides behind everybody, but he's still great. But now he's like this. He's came across as a new character, and it works in NXT, and it works for him, and I like it. And this new apprentice that he has with Indy Hartwell and Austin Theory, I think is gonna. I think they can go a long way for like at least another year ish with this because they can do the North American thing, and then they could do the title thing, like they could do tag team title thing, and then they could do like another NXT title run for Johnny Gargano where he was like, this is another title that I won that I want to defend. That I think I deserve to defend successfully. So I think he has like another year, great year in NXT before maybe he gets called up. I think he has another good year in him, as well as Candice LeRae because I think Candice LeRae will be great as NXT Women's Champion when her arm heals. So I think, and then probably Austin Theory as North American Champion before they like separate and stuff like that. But yeah, good stuff from them and leading to good things with Kushida, hopefully Leon Ruff and Johnny Gargano and Austin Theory. Number two, Ciampa versus Tyler Rust. This match was really good. It was a star-making performance for Tyler Rust, and that's things that people need. There's always a complaint that people was like, "This should be a squash match. Why is this match going on as long as it does?" For Tyler Rust, this is how you create stars. Um, if you want to push a star or push your people, this is how you do it. You get somebody in there with Champa, and you let them get their stuff in. You go back and forth, and you literally just created a new star, and now people are going to get behind Tyler Rust. This was a thing where, like where commentary talked about, Tyler Rust has, he's actually a veteran. He's been wrestling for 15, I think 13, 15 years, just as long as Ciampa has, but he doesn't have the NXT uh, dominance or whatever that Ciampa has, and he may be a 15-year vet, but he's still a rookie in the eyes of NXT, and I like how they did that, and they showed that no, I might be new in NXT, but nah, I can wrestle. I might need to step back and work on my craft. That's why I'm with Timothy Thatcher, but don't get it twisted. Your boy is out here wrestling, and he showed some technical skills against Champa. He was on that arm. Champa in the beginning, he went to sit a chair out for Timothy Thatcher. He had a seat for him, and I think Timothy Thatcher, like, he just took the chair and left, I guess, or whatever like that. Um, but in the end, of course, Tommaso Ciampa wins because Tommaso Ciampa is Tommaso Ciampa, and he looks at Rust and he's like, okay, hey, I respect it. He takes the shirt, he wipes it off. Timothy Thatcher comes out mad, and he was like, hey, you're a guy. I mean, hey, respect to him, bye bye to you, and he's out. So I'm assuming that next week, Timothy Thatcher is probably going to do the same thing against somebody. He's probably going to win, and they're going to probably do a thing where it leads up to um, Ciampa and Timothy Thatcher at New Year's Evil, which Thatcher should win. It's going to be a great match, and Thatcher should win. But yeah, good match. And then at the end, Malcolm Bivens did a. He was like, "Hey, you're star potential. You got it. Fist bump me. Let's make some money." And Malcolm Bivens is great. So I can't wait for that. And number one, that was number two. Number one, numero uno, Pete Dunne versus Kyle freaking Riley. I've since number 10, I've been wanting to talk about. This match was fire. Kyle O'Reilly, Pete Dunne, man. Pete Dunne, man, just don't be missing, man. Kyle O'Reilly don't be missing this match. From the start, when they just stared at each other, they had a whole thing with um, Undisputed Era and 1-2 Punch. They were staring at each other. They was telling each other to get down. They went in the ring with each other and they started brawling. Like the whole time they were brawling, Pete Dunne and Kyle O'Reilly just stared at each other, just didn't pay attention to anything around them. They were going out on the outside, and then Breezango came and they did a whole thing and they were still brawling. And Pete Dunne and Kyle O'Reilly did not take eyes off of each other. And then when that bell rang, they went at it just from start to finish. It was so good, uh, magic. And the best part, Kyle O'Reilly wins. Yo, Kyle O'Reilly, he might win that NXT championship, and I won't even hate it. I ain't gonna hold you. This, if this leads to Kyle O'Reilly winning and becoming NXT champion, this gives a whole new. This is just like I said with Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae. This is a whole new. I won't say year run for the Undisputed Era, but this is at least up until WrestleMania for them, because for their whole 4 years that they've been together, they were heels, and now they're coming back around for at least maybe 5-6 months as baby faces, and I like it. And also, Kyle O'Reilly has been a tag team champion for the 4 years, like 3 times. He's been tag team champion only. Uh, Roderick Strong was North American champion, and Adam Cole did all of it. It was all of it. He was North American champion, tag team champion, well, first ever North American champion, tag team champion, and NXT longest reigning champion. So I wouldn't mind. And then also Adam Cole and Roderick Strong has never been tag team champions together. So this is something fresh for them as Kyle O'Reilly becomes NXT champion. Maybe Adam Cole and Roderick Strong become tag team champions, and maybe Bobby Fish, when he comes back, he gets the North American Championship, and they all get that babyface run for a couple of months before they go to the main roster. That'd be really cool to see. And it would be cool that Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish, even though they're tag team champions or tag team competitors, they're both singles. They're both capable single stars, and it's would be good to see them win singles titles, as well. So hopefully that comes to fruition. Finn Balor versus Pete Dunne 2, or Finn Balor versus Kyle O'Reilly 2. Oh my! Oh, the first one that they did was fire, and they cut that short. Just imagine what they're gonna do. Oh, at New Year's Evil, it's gonna be crazy. Oh my God, it's gonna be. Oh, this it might be like it might be 25-5. It might be 25 stars. I'm not gonna hold you. This might be 25 stars. Like this match right here. Hey, I don't want to say 5 stars. I don't like throwing 5 stars out there like that. But like, hey, this was fantastic. This was hey, if you giving 5 stars out, this is gonna be 5 stars. Finn Balor versus Kyle O'Reilly 2 might be like 25,000 stars. I ain't gonna hold you. This might be up there. Yeah, this match was fantastic. They was going at each other like crazy. The technical, the physical. Kyle O'Reilly wins, and Finn Balor did his promo on Kyle O'Reilly later. He said, "Hey, yeah, you deserve to be main eventer. You did what you had to do. You broke my jaw, but guess what? I still ended up winning, uh, being champion." He's like, part two. He's like, "There's no Finn Balor, Kyle O'Reilly to part two. This is Finn Balor, Kyle O'Reilly, the end." And I hope it ends with Kyle O'Reilly becoming NXT champion. And then after that, we have to get number one contenders match from Pete Dunne and Finn Balor, because we need that one-on-one match, because that's gonna be great. And then yeah, Pete Dunne will probably eventually, I hope, get that title. But there's a lot of things going on in that main event scene, and I love all of it. Put Adam Cole, because Adam Cole is the best. Put him in Roderick Strong in that tag team scene, and we got ourselves another 6 months with Undisputed Era, and I'm here for it. What did you guys think? I think the show was a good B plus. Like that, of course, the main event, that's like A plus, A plus plus plus. But yeah, B plus, because like the first half of the show, like I said, was it was there, it was all right. But those last three matches plus that Xia Li thing, ah, fire. Uh, what did you guys think? Let me know. I'm out.